everyone! My name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. Today we are going to do the final installment to our How to Spot a Fake series, which isn't really a series, but I guess now is. And today we are going to be looking at how to spot a fake pro-dom. Now, all of the advice that I gave in regards to how to spot a fake dominant in general does apply here, but because we are discussing people that are providing BDSM as a service, there are some unique factors to consider. So this is going to be as much about how to spot scammers and bots and catfish as it is navigating around people that simply aren't as dominant as they let on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into how you can spot a fake pro-dom. Number one is they contact you instead of you contacting them. I am starting here because I kid you not, this will save you from 90% at least of scammers and bots. If you ever have something where somebody that's called like Mistress so-and-so or Domina so-and-so suddenly starts sending you friend requests and they like a bunch of your posts and they leave nice comments, or I guess mean comments if that's what you're into, and they just suddenly have a lot of really intense interaction, and then they send you a DM that's like, you seem like the perfect submissive. I normally have a very rigorous process to evaluate all of my potential subs, but you just seem so special that I'm willing to make an exception just this once. And if you go right now to this link, you can start a conversation with me and we can get started in all of the fun. Like, if it's anything like that, run away, block, do not interact. Pro-doms are very busy people. Yes, they do have social media. That is an important part of having a brand and staying connected. Everyone has to do it to some extent, but they typically don't role play for free, and they also don't cold call strangers to see if they want to be their submissive. Like, that just doesn't happen. Most pro-doms are overwhelmed by messages and emails and interactions, and most of them actually even have assistants that run either their email as like sort of an initial filter or their social media pages, because the volume is so much. They do not have the time or space to communicate to anyone out in the blue that maybe wants to be dominated. This also goes for websites like FetLife too, not just Twitter and Instagram, because no matter where they are, chances are a pro-dom is being swamped with people if they are even close to being legit. So just like walk away, don't even go there. Chances are they are either not someone with good intentions or they are just a bot. Number two, they don't have a website. Now, I may not be a pro-dom myself, although some people are very confused about this. I am not a pro-dom. However, I do know a lot of professional dominants. All of them have websites, and I know that we do have, again, social media, Twitter, TikTok, lots of ways to interact with people that maybe would be interested in being dominated. However, again, those things are normally more of an advertisement, more of a sampler. There's just an introduction to get you to go to that next step, and that is typically a website, because a website allows you to have so much more information than any other social media page. It allows you to post travel information, contact information, galleries, videos, FAQs, about me's, their interests, their vetting process, like everything you could want to know about a potential professional is going to be on their website, and most of that is not going to end up anywhere else. Also, typically, they will have a specific form that you can go to on their website to contact them, either a preset contact like fillable form or a targeted email address or a single phone number that is not provided anywhere else. And the reason for that is, again, pro-doms have so much of their time wasted by wannabes that want to see how much of like free role play they can get from a pro-dom without ever actually intending to pay. So actually putting that contact information off of social media makes it so there's more of a buffer between the people that really are serious and the people that just want to try and get something for free. And be wary of people that make excuses for not having a website, like, oh, it's too expensive, or I prefer to be more private. Like, yeah, not every pro-dom wants to have their face everywhere, but there are ways to be private and still have a website that gives you more information, because that is the key thing. The more information you have, the better and more likely it is that this person is legitimate. If they are avoiding having a website because they don't have anything to fill it with, that's typically going to be a red flag. And yes, it could be that maybe the pro-dom is really just newer, doesn't really have a social media presence established yet, but if you are somebody that is looking for a pro-dom for the very first time, you don't want to have any doubts about the person that you are going to. And if you are really into this person for some reason, you can always like bookmark them, check in a couple months, see what they're doing, and see if they actually got reported for being spam, or if it turns out they were really legit and just didn't know what they were doing yet. But personally, I wouldn't take that risk when there are so many very professional, very well-maintained websites out there that give you so much information about somebody that you are thinking about hiring. And going along with websites, number 3 is their pictures and videos are very suspicious. Now, first of all, if someone does not have any photos or any videos at all, and all they have is like a grainy profile photo, that's a big red flag. That's a big no. But even if someone does have a full gallery or videos, that doesn't necessarily make them legit just on the face of it. You have to look at what it is they're actually posting. Google search, Google image search, reverse image searching is your friend. You want to make sure to do this on as many photos as possible. It is very easy to spoof photos from porn websites, from Reddit, from other legitimate pro-doms. See where those photos came from, see if they are from someone else, if they are from Pinterest, and also be wary of the content of the photos. Are there actually photos of them as a person in maybe certain outfits or in a background of their dungeon, kind of giving you an image of who they are, but also like their style as a dom? Or is it a lot of photos of everything else besides them? Is it a lot of photos of like so-called clients or photos of collections of Louis Vuittons and Gucci bags? If it's a lot of stuff and everything except them, that is a red flag. Yes, some doms are really into tribute and they have a lot of photos of their tributes to sort of show like this is the expectation if you want to be my client, but be careful because you just might find that those photos are from Pinterest and not actually from real life. Also, in general, again, it does give you information about who they are as a dom and their style. Like, watch the videos, look at the photos, and even if they are legit, like if they don't match what you want, then you don't have to hire them. So it's also just a double check in general that's good to do to make sure you're going to be a good fit together. And going back to privacy, yes, some doms are very exclusive about their face and they don't show it everywhere, and I understand the desire for privacy, but there is a difference, and pay attention between cropping photos to not show your face but still like kind of giving a physical sense of who you are consistently from photo to photo versus not having anything of you at all. Pay attention. Again, that is the key here. Like, use your logic, use your reasoning, and figure out like, hey, like, why is it this pro-dom has no photos of themselves and like a bunch of stuff that looks like it's from 20 different rooms, 20 different like backgrounds. Like, if it looks like every single photo is shot in a different house, it's probably because those photos are being stolen. So again, utilize your brain here, folks. Okay, so going back to tribute, number 4 is, do they demand tribute / money right away? That is a very big flag, and it kind of comes from 2 things. So one is, there are people online that have heard, oh, if you're just like really mean to guys and then ask for money, they'll just like pay you money. And it's like super easy. You just get so much money. Look, I made like $20,000 being a pro-domme online last month, just like cold calling people and demanding money. That isn't actually how it works, but the rumor mill persists. 2 is, if you have a level of coding knowledge and you have no morals, it is a very easy bot to build to just like spam people on social media demanding tribute and money. And sometimes it works. That is the sad part of it, is sometimes people do fall for these scams, not realizing that they are being scammed, which is why we are making this video. Now, tribute, money, that is part of paying for a professional service. Tribute depends on the dom's style. Think of it more like a tip or an act of devotion. Different doms, again, different styles, different reasons behind the tribute. But if someone contacts you and then is like, if you want to continue this conversation, I demand tribute, and they tell you to buy gift cards especially, that is a big red flag. Of course, be careful about where this happens in the process. If it's after you have contacted them on their website and you've had a conversation, maybe talked on the phone, and you are setting up a time to reserve for their services and they are asking for a deposit, that is not the same thing as a random person on the internet going like, pay me tribute, pay pig. Like, totally different things. And unfortunately, a lot of people will use the excuse, speaking frankly, that they have been scammed in the past to not pay actual pro-doms for their time to try and get like sympathy freebies. And I find that very distasteful, and don't be that person. I'm not saying that anytime a pro-dom asks for money, it's part of a scam. Again, having a deposit is a perfectly normal part of the process, as you would with any kind of professional service like a lawyer. That is reasonable. However, if someone is asking you to go to Walmart and buy them gift cards over Twitter, that's going to be a big red flag. Now, unfortunately, it can get darker than just buying gift cards, which brings me on to my next point. Number 5, they demand pictures or video from you. So even if they don't necessarily ask for money, they may ask for a test of your devotion as a submissive, because they want to see how serious you are. And maybe they'll say, I want to see a photo of you naked, kneeling on the ground, holding a sign that says, I'm Mistresses so-and-so's like stupid pay pig or whatever. And you might think, oh my God, that's like totally my fantasy. I want to do that. I'm into it. Slow down for a second here, because even in a professional capacity, anything involving BDSM must be negotiated first. This includes photos, this includes role play, this includes blackmail play, and this isn't even blackmail play. It's just blackmail, because think about what you're doing. You are giving someone a photo of you in a compromising position, holding a sign typically of something that you are saying or something that's just really humiliating and embarrassing, and possibly at this stage they have personal identifying information about you. That's terrifying. They might not even actually have personal identifying information about you, but they might threaten you like they do, and that is a really scary scenario to be in, that leads people to having their identities stolen, their bank accounts being drained, losing their jobs, losing their families or their marriage. Do not put yourself in that situation. There is no reason why, in a random conversation with a real pro-dom, you would ever need to send them proof of your submission via a video or a photo. That is not going to be legitimate. Now, when it is a experienced provider, somebody that you have seen multiple times and you have an ongoing relationship and some kind of secure communication channel, maybe occasionally there will be some kind of like weekly check-in photo or a daily check-in photo or something that you put in a lot of detail, negotiate around first to make sure it's going to be okay. And even then, it is still risky. Be very careful about sending or taking any kind of photos that involve you doing something compromising, being kinky at the same time, being nude, wearing a maid outfit, whatever it is. Be very, very careful, because even if the dom doesn't misuse it, and I know I'm on a tangent here, but this is important, even if the dom doesn't misuse it, all it takes is you forgetting what you've taken photos of and then trying to share your latest vacation with a family member or a coworker, and then suddenly they swipe too far and you have a very messy situation to try and deal with. So be very, very careful. This is not only a red flag, it is just sort of dangerous in general depending on what your situation is. But moving on. Number 6 is they don't screen. Everyone has a different method for vetting and screening clients, but at some point a pro-dom will ask you some fairly basic questions. That could be over an email, that could be in a contact form on their website, just seeing, hey, what are you into? What is your experience level? Have you seen a pro-dom before? To get a sense, again, if you are going to be a good fit or not. And if they don't have that, if they just offer to book a session, no further questions asked, if they are not looking to see if you're going to be a good fit for them, they are not going to be a good fit for you. In some ways, this is kind of like a job application, let's say. Do you think it's a sign that a place is a legitimate above board company if as soon as you walk in the door, without asking you anything at all, they tell you, oh, you're hired, when do you start? And they didn't even check to see what position you wanted first? That would seem pretty shady compared to actually doing a full interview process and questions back and forth, going over a resume. If it's too good to be true and it's too easy, it's probably not going to be good news for you. And I'm gonna keep saying this, but a pro-dom's time is valuable. They do not have time to waste on clients that are not going to mesh with what their skill set is or is in an entirely different location. They are going to screen those people out as soon as possible in the process. And if they don't, that either means 1, they are desperate to get the money from you and are willing to do anything and say yes to whatever scenario you propose to secure that money, or 2, they are so inexperienced, they don't realize that different clients want different things. And so no matter where this is coming from, it is not likely going to be fun for you at the end of it, so I would just move on. Number 7 is their communication seems off. And this is actually a couple of different red flags rolled into one. So you really want to pay attention how a pro-dom is communicating with you. For a lot of people, that is going to be over email. Being a pro-dom is a job. Most people take it seriously and they run it as you would any other business. And they conduct their emails like business emails. In the same way that you wouldn't send your boss an email full of emojis and text lingo, a pro-dom typically wouldn't do the same to you. And that holds true even if they have an assistant answering their emails. I can't think of any dom that would hire someone to do their emails for them and then allow that person to be very informal to the point of possibly being rude in their correspondence. That is just not going to fly. Also, look at what they're saying. The sentences, the syntax. Are they misspelling a lot of words? Are they using kind of weird phrases? Is there a bunch of extra punctuation and spacing that seems really strange? That could maybe be someone that doesn't have English as their first language trying to just correspond, but most of the time, what that means is it's someone that is not actually a person, it's a bot that is trying to type and write emails like a person, but then failing to do so. Or maybe what they're saying seems fine, but the emails just don't look right. Like every email is a different font color, font size, different tone, different like length, level of detail. Don't be afraid to copy and paste and then search what it is they are saying in their emails. And the reason why I say this is Google search with text is kind of like reverse image searching someone's email. Like it could be the reason why their emails look so strange is because they are just copying something from a different pro-domme website in every response to try and seem legitimate, and none of it is actually their own words. And if you copy something from an email and search for it and find an exact match, like that's going to be pretty telling if suddenly everything they're saying is coming from the websites of like 5 different pro-doms, a Reddit thread, and a Twitter post, you know? Number 8 is they ask for a wire transfer. Maybe they don't ask for money right away. Maybe you even talk for a long time over email, or you call on the phone and you're all ready to set up a session. And then suddenly they want to use Western Union. Keep in mind that some of the oldest scams on the whole internet are wire transfer scams. Be very, very cautious, especially if you are in the US and the only payment someone takes is a wire transfer. Yes, it is true that many credit card processors and PayPal are not friendly to pro-dom services. That is completely legit. But if the only way you can send them money is through Western Union or some kind of other wire transfer service, that is very unusual in the US and should be taken as a red flag. Now, I don't know about like if in Japan or Spain or anywhere else, if that's more normal to use a wire transfer for more everyday things, but here, there's not really a reason for it. And if they still seem legit, and you still think, no, this person is real, we Skype, we did whatever, double check that where the money is going makes sense to where they are supposed to be. Like if you're both in California and they are in LA and the wire transfer is going to Oklahoma, why the fuck would it go to Oklahoma? They do not have an assistant in Oklahoma that's taking the money for them. That does not happen. It doesn't happen. And even if it does, there is no reason why you should take the risk of that not being real. And also, one of the big reasons why it wouldn't make sense for a pro-dom to use a wire transfer is typically for a wire transfer recipient, they have to give their full legal name. Why would a pro-dom give their full legal name to someone that is basically a stranger? Like for their own safety, that doesn't make sense. So if anything involves a wire transfer, just step away. It's probably going to be bad news. Number 9 is they treat every submissive like they are a pay pig. This one goes back to how BDSM, even with a professional, needs to be negotiated first. And yes, it is typical that on social media, pro-doms will put in a little bit of a flavor. They will put in a hint of how they are as a dom for their brand to let people kind of interact with them, know what to expect, tantalize them, get them interested in a session with them, let them know kind of what that fantasy is going to look like. All of that makes sense. It's advertisement, it's branding, it's all of that. Totally fine. There is a difference between a little bit of flavor and replying to every single comment anyone leaves on their social media posts with "fuck you, pay me money." And yes, there are pro-doms that have financial domination as part of their services, or even having it as the main thing that they do. But if they are legit, they typically realize that not every submissive person is going to be or wants to be a pay pig. And if somebody is acting like everyone online is already a willing source of money for them, that is a red flag because one, it either means they are just horrifically unethical or they are so clueless about BDSM that they don't realize this isn't a get rich quick scheme where you can just go, hey, I'm mean, now pay me money, and like expect someone to want to pay for that service. Like that, it completely misunderstands and oversimplifies the psychology and the interactions that actually go into legitimate financial domination. And even if you are someone that wants that kind of role play, that wants to be a pay pig, I think it's very important to be very picky about the people that you want to have that kind of dynamic with. And I think for the pro-dom side of the equation, if they are legitimate in their financial domination, they are probably not going out there and trying to get everyone to be their pay pig because they realize that it is edge play, that it is quite risky to engage in, and that they are going to be more reserved, more cautious with the people they select to be fin subs. And they are definitely not going to be posting as much as possible to anyone that interacts with them, hey, here's a link, pay me money. That just has scam written all over it. Now finally, number 10 is they don't interact with other pro-doms. And when it comes to social media, yes, it is an advertisement. I've said that so many times before, but it can also be a way of connecting with other professional dominants. If someone has a legitimate social media presence, it will be legit, by which I mean they will have pro-doms that follow them, they will follow other pro-doms, they will talk about important industry events, they will talk about going to DomCon, they will talk to each other about opening a new dungeon or show clips of collaborations between each other. It's sort of a form of social proof because pro-doms hate scammers. It fucks up their business so bad. So if anyone is a scammer, they will typically not even be within the same 1,000-mile radius of them. They want nothing to do with scammers if they are legitimate. So kind of seeing that they interact with and talk with other pro-doms, other people follow them, they work with other people, that can be a really good sign that this person is who they say they are because those other pro-doms are putting their reputations on the line as well by interacting with this individual. Of course, some pro-doms are more reserved, they're not really into social media, it's really just a place to put together an ad reel, and they don't have a lot of other connections. That doesn't always mean that they aren't legit, but I do think it is better to have more information, more interaction rather than less. As you can also see things like if they are announcing travel plans or teasing a clip or saying that big new video coming out on November 28th or whatever. And you can then cross-reference that social media post with their website, with other social media accounts connected to their name. And if those things never come out, if it doesn't match the website, if it doesn't match with other social media postings they do in the future, that's gonna look pretty shady, especially if not everything is syncing up within a couple of days. Oh, and this one should go without saying, but if they have no followers at all, or their engagement is totally out of line with their following, like they have 100,000 followers, but 10 people will like a photo, that probably means that they're a fake account and or they bought followers. So stay away from that as well. And that is all of the advice that I have to share on how to spot a fake pro-dom. And I would like to thank the doms and pro-doms that helped me make this video possible with their resources. Now, normally I would link them below, but YouTube just really does not like links anymore. So instead, we are going to thank them here. So again, thank you so much to Lady Vi, Daddy Only, and Miss Morgan Thorne for their resources online that helped me make this video possible and make it so much better. You are really doing a wonderful job keeping your clients safe and more knowledgeable, and that is wonderful. And again, that is everything I have here for you all today. If you enjoyed this, if you have not already, please do subscribe. I make videos twice a week about all sorts of kink and BDSM related topics. And finally, if you did really enjoy this video, if you want to support what I do, the best way that you can do that is with Patreon. A link to that will be down below. If you do already support me over there, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you all next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.